Lost fire will rise.
Hello, YouTubers, and happy Halloween! So as I'm filming this, it's actually like the week before, but when I'm gonna post this, it'll actually be the day before Halloween. So tomorrow, on the actual day of Halloween, I'm gonna have a little special video. So look for that to come. But today, what I wanted to talk about was a recent movie that actually just came direct to video, but that just came out for this Halloween season. So as you've seen in a video a long time ago, in fact so long ago, that it was actually one of my animated videos, I am a big fan of the Child's Play series. That is the series of movies with Chucky, the killer doll, possessed by the soul of Charles Lee Ray. Well, just recently they actually released a brand new movie, a brand new sequel, Curse of Chucky. So being a big fan of the series, I definitely had to check this out. And, you know, with the very last one, Seed of Chucky was, you know, okay, but really a little too heavily on the goofy comedy side, and for me to be saying that, being a goofy dude that I am, that's saying a lot. So, you know, I was kind of iffy on the new one, but I mean, you know, I'm something of a completist when it comes to my movies, that, you know, if it's a series that I loved, I feel the need to watch it anyway. So I did. So, you know, I got the actual full box set, and as part of my Halloween movie marathon that I do, you know, where in every day that I can possibly in Halloween during October, and usually a little in September, I'm watching as many horror movies as I can. So as part of that, I actually went up watching it. So let me start off talking about it for once today. I actually have a bit of an outline for myself. I didn't want to forget what I wanted to talk about. The basic summary of the plot, this time around, Chucky finds his way, he somehow gets himself mailed to a family that he has some sort of history with. And so kind of, you know, the story unfolds, you find out what that history is, and why in particular he's targeting this family. But it's the basic typical Chucky story, except, you know, the one thing I will say, they tried to make this one a little more on the scary side again. You know, it's still about a killer doll, so of course there's the goofiness, but they tried to bring back the scariness a little bit. So, you know, they kind of tried to get it back to where it had been. So, you know, overall I thought it was actually okay. I would definitely rate it above Seed of Chucky. It wasn't that great. You know, it was a little, took a little bit long to really get started. You know, I mean, because it's like, there's not much to establish. We know the story, we know Chucky, so, you know, really took a little longer than I would have liked to have seen to really get into it. It was, you know, funny enough, for the type of movie, you don't really want a whole lot of backstory and character development. It's really just to see Chucky kill people. So, I mean, you need a little bit, you know, so that there's some kind of substance, but I felt like there's almost too much in this movie, just at the very beginning. But other than, I mean, it was pretty good. It wasn't one of the best. I still think the first three are really the best. But it was, you know, it was not bad. So kind of to go through some of the more specific things I liked or did not like. Okay, so one of the things that I really liked was I thought it was kind of cool that we actually got to see both the brand new, clean-looking Chucky and the beaten up, stitched together Chucky. I don't want to spoil too much, so I won't tell you how it is that happened. But you'd have to see the movie to see. We actually did get both. I have to say I was not too fond, though, of the sort of redesigned look of Chucky, both, you know, the stitched up guy and then the brand new. I don't know how to quite explain what it was I didn't like about it. It was just a little too nice, I guess, is the best way I can think to word it. You'd kind of have to see, like, it was supposed, like, the Chucky the Good Guy dolls, basically they're like this 80s doll, and it looked a little too. It didn't like the way they redesigned it. It didn't look like '80s anymore. It looks sort of like if they had revived the franchise and just in like say the '90s or now and thought it has to look a little fresher though. So I didn't kind of like that. There's also they sort of added like a backstory of Chucky being this like, or sorry, Charles Lee Ray before he was Chucky, being like this creepy stalker kind of dude. It actually gave him kind of like a rapist feel, sort of. And you know, it was very chilling, sort of, but you know, it just to me it didn't fit the character because he'd never had that sort of a vibe before, and all of a sudden they're like, let's just cram in this like creepy feel to him. I mean, you know, he's a serial killer. He's a crazy son of a gun. I mean, you know, he could already be creepy just in and of that. You don't need to add this like rape feel to him. That, you know, and you'll see what I mean if you see the movie. It's part of like the whole backstory. I do have to say it's awesome that Brad Dourif was back. I would not want to see anybody else play Chucky's voice or play Charles Lee Ray. It's really great to see him back. I really loved all the nods to the other movies, you know, the little in-jokes and stuff like that, and you know, I like when a movie doesn't forget the ones that came before it. You know, even when there's ones that aren't that great in the series, to me, it's still part of your series, and you know, I think it's not good, you don't forget that happened, so, you know, I like that they had little nods to the other movies. Now, I also really enjoyed kind of their attempt to make it scary again, you know, give it a little bit of scariness. Make it not quite so much comedy. I thought that was pretty good. And even in that, you know, I thought that right as it was getting to the point where you're like, all right, that's enough, let's just see Chucky as Chucky, you know, they finally did get into just that. You got to see Chucky, you know, going around being Chucky. So that was good as well. One thing I have to say, I absolutely loved Fiona Dourif, and that's Brad Dourif's daughter. She was awesome. She was a great addition. I thought it's really cool that they added her and being you know, the daughter of the actor who plays Chucky. Not to mention she's just hot. Actually, you know, she's like, well, I have a little bit of a celebrity crush on her. Honestly, she's awesome. And again, you know, it's really funny to think that, you know, she is the daughter of Brad Dourif. You know, now in one of his movies. So, you know, beyond that, you know, it wasn't one of the best in the series, like I said, but it's definitely one I would recommend, especially if you're like me, if you just like to see all the movies in a series. You know, if I had to rate, I think I would say 1, 2, and 3 are my favorite. I'm not really sure where to rate those amongst each other. I bunched them all together. I really love those. After that, I would say Bride of Chucky is probably the better. Then Curse of Chucky, and at the bottom, Seed of Chucky. So, you know, it was still good. It was, you know, like I said, I would still recommend watching it, especially if you're a fan of the series. But, you know, maybe not one of the best, but it was still pretty cool. Okay, thank you, YouTubers. Have a nice day, and happy Halloween.